Welcome back, terrestrials. In this episode, we're doing Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Um, Before we get started, thank you for liking, subscribing. If you haven't already, hit the button. We do a weekly, well, pretty much every other day. There's a trivia in the community section.
Right.
You can show off your horror knowledge. So just hop on, give us the subscribes, and remember, they don't put ads on our shit because nobody watches them. That's for you. And we don't get monetized. That's for you. Um, so let's hop into the movie.
Right.
This one's directed by Jack Shoulder, written by Wes Craven. Craven,
I think
probably. That's
so.
probably, yeah, it's French. So the budget was 3 million. It made back 30. That's solid. I think that this one's got a little bit more to talk about as far as the themes and stuff, but
Right.
before we do that, what do you grade this one?
I give it an A plus.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Okay. That's interesting. I think if I had to give this one a grade, it's going to be a B plus.
A B. Okay.
Yeah, B
Why
plus.
the drop? What
Well,
don't you like about this?
okay, so it's just, this isn't the first horror series to do this,
Right.
where they put the killer in somebody else's shoes,
Right.
where they make it like, oh, is it the killer? Is it this person that's pretending to be the killer? They did it in Friday 13th, or they alluded to it. It,
Jason's
I,
dead.
yeah,
Yeah.
they do this thing, and I am not the biggest fan of it.
Okay.
You set the tone with number one, and then in number two, you immediately flip the script and to like that's not, it's not Nightmare on Elm Street to me. Like
Hmm.
it's something else. It doesn't follow the guidelines of the original setup.
Right.
It takes a hard left or right, and it's just so different.
Okay.
And I can understand why people love that about this, but
Hmm.
also Freddy looks different. um and he's being played by, simultaneously while being Freddy Krueger, he's also this young kid, Mike Patton,
Yeah.
Mark Patton. So it's just very, I don't know, Jesse being Freddy and not at the same time
Right.
being tortured by him, but also kind of being him. Like all that, I was just like, no, man. Like the Nancy character and her group of friends being tortured by this guy,
Yeah.
that's the jam. That's the move. And then when I give them credit for the unique take on it, trying something different, all that. Like I don't hate this movie. It's
Hmm.
just it's just like, so it's such a turn from the original that I find it not distasteful, but just so unique in a direction that I was hoping it didn't go.
Right.
I guess I don't even know if any of that made sense, but
No, it does. It does, and it's hilarious because that's why
that's
I like
exactly why.
this.
Yep, I
And
knew it. I
is
had a
that
feeling you were going to say that. But I
that
think that the people that do like it, that's the reason they like
right?
it.
Is that it's not
So,
Nightmare One, rinse, repeat, different people.
right.
Thank God. Like, yeah, the later ones kind of resemble
Mhm.
that, but they do something
Right.
unique and make it. Like, I think you know the greatness of 3 and 4 could run because of Freddy 2 um being so different, where like New Line Cinema was like, no, 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 go back to Freddy raw in your dreams instead of this. But Like, when it cuts down to it, and I was watching it today, and I was like, "Damn, this is dark." Some of, compared to Nancy, like, the Jesse story,
Mhm.
like, it's just way darker, and, there's
It
still
is, yeah.
goofy shit, like, like you were saying about the arms in part
Yeah, yeah,
1,
yeah.
like,
Right.
that's the
That's
pool,
gone.
that's the dog for me,
Yeah,
just that goofy, like, "What?"
yeah.
But there are these moments that, really reign true where, he's, like, sleepwalking or whatever, and, it's that possession, the heat being in the it's 93 degrees, 97 degrees in this house,
Mhm.
and it's like, when the house gets to, like, 82, I would have noticed a problem, not at
Yeah. Yeah,
97
yeah,
fucking degrees,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
Well, to be fair, we're soft
Yeah.
compared to the older generations.
Oh my
But
god,
yeah,
fucking
I totally see that that's why people like this movie.
right.
To me, it feels like Nightmare on Elm Street's driving down the road. They swerve to miss a cat, and that's Nightmare on Elm Street 2. And they swerve back for 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Well, not 6, because 6 is its own thing. We'll get
Right,
to that. But we'll have our debate on that.
right.
But it just seems like such a like a whoops, like we tried it and let's get back to the what we know in 3 and 4. I think that you're right though, it is a darker movie.
Yes.
It's Jesse is every time I say Jesse I think science, bitch. But Jesse is he does a really good job with the way he starts to look like sleep deprived,
Right.
delusional, like he's losing it. Um, it, I think that it's a good movie. It just doesn't fit the series, so it feels a little off to me, and that's the only thing. Like as a standalone, if this was the first one, and
Yeah.
then one was two, then
Mhm.
I would be like, this is an amazing movie. This is an A plus.
Right.
Because at that point, it's the oddball, but it's the first one. And
Mhm.
then two and three all line up together.
Right.
That yeah, so
I think, because we have the power of hindsight, because we know where the series is gonna go with 3,
kind of.
4,
I've
5.
mostly forgotten
You've
everything.
mostly forgotten, okay, so but we know the fact of,
Right,
like,
right.
what how the Freddy Krueger franchise plays out.
Right,
So,
right, right.
like, imagine there's a movie, it's called Nightmare on Elm Street, and we're sitting here and we're like, "Well, how do you make a second one?" He technically got all of the kids on Elm Street, what do you do?
Right.
Okay, well,
And the
it's
idea of having that family move into the house,
right. Yeah,
that
like,
works. That works.
it's the house. It's not,
Right.
the kids on Elm Street anymore. It's
But
the
okay,
actual street now.
so here's the thing. You his boiler room was it was away.
Yeah.
It was somewhere else. So what does the house have to do with him other than the mom burned or tried to burn his glove or whatever? Like in the first one, she has the glove and then somehow he digs it out of the furnace.
Right.
So what does the house have to do with Freddy? Because if
Nancy.
right,
It's
but
it's our direct link.
she's not there anymore.
Right.
She doesn't live there anymore. So like you know what I mean? Like it's like going to go I don't know. It's like Jason going to the camp to kill somebody, kills them, and then comes back to the camp for no reason once the job is done. Like the
No.
connection doesn't need to be there anymore because he's satisfied his urges or needs or
Yeah,
whatever.
that seems like an
Revenge.
executive decision of like, okay, we can't get uh fuck, I can't remember the actress's name now, and
Heather Langenkamp.
yeah, we can't get Heather back. So we will represent her by Elm Street in general, the house,
Right, right.
the bars on the windows, shit like that. And that will be our focus, that because she defeated Krueger in the first one in that house, that
Kind
Krueger's,
of.
yeah, I mean, he
Yeah, that's the
melted
thing. Like
and
the ending of the first one's so open
right.
that like you could have played with that. But again, outside the fact that there is no link to Freddy in the
Mm-hmm.
house,
Right.
putting that family in the house to kick things off, like I could understand. See,
I
so
don't know.
the thing for me is Jesse starts having the dreams first,
Right.
and then Hottie McHahot finds the diary.
Right.
If she would have found the diary, or he would have found it, read about this Freddy Krueger, and then materialized him, that makes sense to me. That's your through line. You're putting your chicken before your egg. And I think if you would have just moved that around to give it that through line,
Mm-hmm.
then you would have had a lot more of a understandable, successful way into building your second one like you did.
Yeah,
Then
I
you
can
could
see
take the
it.
leaps, because he almost like in Terrifier 2, where he becomes obsessed with the idea of Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's why he thinks he's killing these people, and or maybe killing these people, kind of
Right.
deal. You know what I mean? I just feel like I wrote the movie better in my head, and so pay me.
Yeah,
But yeah,
of course, of course. I mean, but you know,
but
take
that's
what
all
we got.
hindsight, of course.
This is what we got, and because, like I said, because of the difference and the uniqueness,
Right.
and with that turn, this is the like Freddy's Revenge. Okay,
Hmm.
so you know, like. Can I tell you the one thing though? Like new topic completely. ADHD, right?
Sure.
Um, like the Freddy Krueger mythos
Mhm.
is crazy. Like if you look at the timeline, they make this shit sound like ancient fucking history. But how many years are we really talking about,
Well, so if these movies are taking place within the time frame that they're actually filmed, which being the 80s, Freddy did this in the 50s, 60s.
Okay.
So it would have been just enough time for those kids to be 17, 18 from, so maybe 10 years
Right.
or something. But like see
Like
later in the series, when you see Freddy run up to fucking Robert England, it has that 50s vibe. It looks
right, or
50s,
the
like
60s,
the
yeah.
hair, the clothing. So we're talking 20 years max
Right.
from incident to him coming back.
Right.
So hopefully that'll
So
answer your question.
in that pretense, okay, the four original kids,
Uh-huh.
they must have had older siblings that were killed off by the Springwood slasher, because he wouldn't
Yeah.
have fucked with that. But he's just because your parents, you know, and I'm after your parents, but I'm gonna fuck with their kids, not their parent. But
So they use that in some cases of like my, well, so the reason Nancy is a target is because dad was the sheriff,
dad was the sheriff, and
and
mom,
mom just
was
wanted
the
to
real
burn
killer.
somebody, like, yeah, okay. The mom wanted to burn somebody
Oh,
alive.
yeah.
So
She
that's
was a
why
drunk.
Nancy gets targeted. The rest of them, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know why they're being targeted. But again, he and Freddy vs. Jason, they really lay into it of he needs somebody to fear him to get power to start
Right.
killing.
Yeah.
So he can't get to Nancy directly right away. He has to knock off her friends first to scare her to come to life to
Hmm.
get her, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't
I
know. Maybe
yeah,
I
I
should take
mean,
this hat off because I don't know shit about this series.
yeah, the
Uh,
series is a weird, like when you really start getting philosophical
right, right.
about Nightmare on Elm Street and
Right.
rules and stuff like that, it gets weird
Well,
because
where
like
does the TV show come in at? Was that from 1 to 2?
the TV show is like the pilot episode talks about Freddy as the Springwood slasher, you
Right,
know.
and it takes you through the court case and stuff. I've seen the show, but
It's like
where did it come out?
one episode, I think in between either 1 and 2 or 2 and 3.
Because it feels between 1 and 2.
Maybe because the face of it almost feels like between 3 and 4 because that's when 4 it gets really plasticky. Like his face stops looking burnt and it starts looking like oh, just go get a Freddy
See,
Krueger mask,
that's how I felt about this one. I
See,
felt
I
this one looked so unique. They did like the Halloween 2, where they
yeah.
just like they might as well put blonde hair on him.
Yeah.
Like he didn't look. Now, I'm not saying that it was in a negative light because some of the times when I looked at him, I was like, eh.
Yeah, when
But
like he's
then
trying to talk in Jesse's
right,
voice, it
right,
looked
right,
but like when he's getting Grady and fucking like, Grady in the bedroom and
yeah,
stuff, dad, dad, and like
yeah,
he rips open out of Jesse
yeah,
and like you see him, that looks
yeah,
really good. He looks
yeah,
really good in that
yeah.
scene. And then
But he
there's a
doesn't
couple at
look like number one
the
at
pool
any
party.
point.
I think they were because lightning it up. It's darker, but it also shows Freddy more, and I think because of
That's
that,
true,
and plus it's
but
not
like
really
whether
Freddy
it's light
Krueger.
or
It's
dark, okay, that's fair.
because he doesn't
That's
have
the
the
best
claw.
argument.
It
Well,
has the claws out of his fingers,
right, he pulled a Wolverine, but
Yeah.
like I'm gonna get shit from X-Men. I know it doesn't come out of his fucking fingers, it comes out of his fist. I got it. Um, but that's the best argument so far because whether it's light or dark, that's a completely different face paint.
Right.
Like that is a different design. Maybe that was the runner up and
His
they were like,
eyes are
fuck it,
redder.
let's give this a try or something.
Hmm.
Because 1, 3, 4, 5 all have Freddy
Hmm.
in that same style makeup. 2 and 6 are different.
Yes.
So I don't know if like I don't know see that's what I'm saying. Like this one doesn't feel Freddy. This one
Right.
feels like 6. 6 feels like, well, we'll get there, but cash
Right.
grab, like different, like let's reinvent him. Because
Yeah. Dollar
I
store
guarantee
Freddy.
you, if 6 would have been wildly successful, they would have made 7 and
Yeah.
8.
Well,
Luckily, everybody was like, no, Bone Finger Freddy can fuck off, except you. And then
6 is Freddy's dead. 7 is
oh,
One
sorry,
Finger
sorry,
Freddy.
70. Yeah, 7 then.
But no, I think because it's not Freddy Krueger,
Yeah,
Freddy Krueger is just projecting himself through Jesse.
right,
Remember, I've
right.
got the brains, you've got the body,
Yeah.
and that's what, how Freddy is trying to bring back the legend. Because,
Mhm.
like, back once more to the time lore, okay, so eh, fucking Grady's like, oh yeah, some chick went crazy there because she saw her boyfriend, and it's like in this small fucking city, I think everybody would have been talking about this. I
Right,
mean,
right.
they would have known, like literally, he would have been a freshman if they're seniors. He would have been a freshman when Nancy and Glenn were in fucking high school. Like, because it's only been like 2 years. What, this come out in like 84? The first one came out in like 82?
I think the first one came out in 84. This one
84,
is
and this must have been like 80, next
this is
year.
85. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, no, they
But
would have been
okay,
juniors.
but
They would have known Nancy.
the year to shoot the movie doesn't doesn't that doesn't fall it doesn't mean that the fucking story's timeline is only a
Hey, I'm
year.
just giving you the lore, the
Yeah,
way
no,
that
I
it's
understand.
projected to me. If
Um
you're gonna make movies back and forth, that's the one thing that Jason Voorhees did because all of those movies up until the final, the one where he dies with Ted Wears the Corkscrew. Those are
Yeah.
literally like one day apart. Like you see the end
Yeah.
of the last movie from two. So it goes two, three, four are all linked by a day, you know. So I'm just taking it as when the movies came out. So, but yet they're talking about like Nancy fucking Thompson being this legendary like psycho, and it's like this isn't like this didn't happen like a decade ago, you know?
I'm trying to find years real quick because they're pretty aloof on the years of these
Right,
things
right.
happening. Uh,
Like official dates, I don't know. I mean, like,
See, that's what I think that they started touching on later, and I think they touched on it more specifically in that terrible remake or reimagining or whatever. Um, but
right, you know, because they had to. But I think in this movie, you know, back in the 80s, it's sit down, shut up, put your brain on, you know,
well, yeah,
like where all you have to think about is what information we're giving you, you know.
right, right, right.
It's like but you know, that was always like the presence of just like why are they talking about Nancy Thompson like you guys didn't go to fucking school with her, you know. And that's another thing that I really enjoy about this movie is that one, the kids feel like kids in this movie again,
Mhm.
and two, because there's more of a school atmosphere that feels like
Right.
a school, you know,
Well, yeah, I
minus like
think that I think that this movie does a good job at making its students or children look like children.
yeah. Well, the first one did a
They
good job, but
right, right.
this one also
That's what I'm saying.
does,
But
you
as
know,
opposed to like, Texas Chainsaw where it's
yeah.
clearly 35-year-old dude
Yeah.
playing
Fucking like, yeah, it's not
freshman driving cross country or
right.
whatever.
It's not fucking James Vanderby horribly
Right,
balding and shit.
right,
Fucking
right.
what's up, my fellow high schoolers and
Yeah, yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Um, but like those small moments, that's what I really enjoy more than a Jason movie. Because a Jason movie, like always, like there is no thought process to a Jason movie. Like the kids just want to go and party, but in Freddy Krueger movies, there's always this internal conflict of some
Yeah,
kind of mental illness feel, you
right,
know, and you can deal with, you know, a guy in a hockey mask coming after you, you know, with a butcher knife. You
right,
can deal with it. You might not win,
right.
but trying to deal with something that feels like a
Mentally,
mental illness,
right.
it's like, no. I mean, the mom in the first one, she's trying to take, you know, Nancy to the fucking doctors.
Mhm.
This one dealing with like, you know,
He
the
needs help. He
yeah.
needs a good kick in the
All right.
ass.
Tell me
No, he needs help.
where what are you doing and who
Yeah,
are you getting it from? You know,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
shut the fuck up, Clue Gulager. Or
yeah. Uh,
fucking I love that actor. Like,
Um,
I'll tell you what he did. Is a goddamn cherry bomb. Fucking like
the guy that I recognize, obviously the girlfriend or the love interest, she's been in other movies and
yeah.
love her, but the fucking coach.
Yeah.
It like dawned on me halfway through the movie. I was like, son of a bitch, that's the SWAT guy from Airheads.
Yeah.
Like
Cool guy.
my wife was with the pool guy.
Yeah.
They're like, well,
Cool
there's just
cleaning.
a
Do you
van.
know how to use a gun?
Yeah, yeah,
Fucking yeah. And like even that, like wow, Elm Street really has a lively downtown fucking like scene,
yeah.
you know.
The
Fucking
BDSM
like
scene,
yeah, yeah.
the gay bar scene.
Yeah. Wow, this place is really lively and shit. Fucking Robert Shea, like this fucking like kid with no shoes on. No, he had shoes on at that point.
Well,
Fucking, I
didn't he
forgot.
have blood on him though?
No, he
Or
just had his
no, he
shirt
showed up to the
unbuttoned.
girl's house with blood
Yeah,
on
he
him.
had like, I just
Yeah,
killed Grady.
yeah,
Fucking,
yeah.
I love when he's like freaking out and shit. But Have you seen the documentary about this movie?
No, I haven't.
Scream Queen. Like
No.
it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
There's these moments where the
It's
actor
on the
Jesse.
DVD, I
Yeah,
think, but
but the actor
I don't.
Jesse, the actual actor is asking the director, like, did you cast me because you knew I was gay
Uh-huh.
in this movie? Because I think, the director, like, were you trying to make a gay movie, or were these just
No,
these
or you
moments
wouldn't
just
have a
like
fucking girlfriend in the movie.
right? But there's even that moment where like he goes to Grady's house and he's like, I was with Jessica and whatnot. And he's like, yeah, but for some reason you're sitting here in my room, It's like,
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid point. I didn't view it like that. I viewed it like he was trying to get somewhere where like they had built a rapport, and I
right.
think he felt like the manliness of Grady, like that like ruggedness.
Oh,
I don't think he went there for like S&Ds. I think he went there for protection,
right.
whether that's because he's
Even
gay or
though
not, I
what's her
don't
face
know,
is
but
sitting there like begging him to stay. I'll help you and shit. And like,
right, but she is not like, even with like a slasher, like your mentality, like you see it you see it in these movies all the time where like people will try to shoot a ghost,
right.
right? Or they grab a gun for a monster that a gun's not going to stop.
Yeah.
Like you see the logic of like, this is
It's just what
comforting
I
to
know
me,
to
right?
do. No.
So like, if you have to go to battle, you're not going to try to get the girl that's trying to get the come out of you. You're going to go to your homeboy that's going to go to war with you.
Right.
So like, I can understand both sides of that. Maybe he was like, let me go here because I like him, I want to talk to him, I want to open up to him, whatever. But also, maybe let me go to him because he's somebody who needs to be on my side if I have to go to fight. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's kind of
Yeah, I
like that
need
kind of,
that like homeboy like
right. Yeah,
connection,
exactly. Right.
like, it's like with the new girl, because Grady
She's
asked him
just
at the
trying to drain
beginning.
cum out of him, like
um,
constantly,
right.
forever throughout this entire movie.
But I just keep
Now
seeing the
this
tongue,
movie would,
his tongue, like when he gets
yeah,
Freddy Kruegered and shit,
yeah.
and like,
uh, ew.
yeah. What did you freak out for, dude?
But it would have this movie would have been a gay movie if at the end where he like comes out of Freddy's body or whatever, and she like helps him up and they start walking away and he's like, take me to Grady's house.
Yeah, I need to
Like
go see Grady.
then it'd
But
been like,
Grady's dead at that point, so it don't
right,
matter.
right, right. But
No,
yeah,
it would have
yeah, yeah.
been it would have been a total solid that in the bus it would have been the gym teacher who would have been butt naked
Yeah.
from the showers
Right.
and fucking then Grady and be like, everything's gonna be okay,
Yeah.
and
And he's
Freddy
just like,
Krueger's
I'm okay with this.
claw,
Yeah.
yeah, Freddy Krueger's claw comes out of,
Right.
which like that setup, may I say, since I've watched these, uh like even when I was a kid,
Mhm.
um I always knew like when it was a dream because he has a fucking car, but yet for some reason he's on the bus again.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the bus.
Also, can we talk about the fact that he is probably a serial killer? He's admitted to, or not serial killer, but some sort of murderer. He's admitted to murdering. He shows up to the girl's house. The girls are like, or the girl's parents like, we don't really want you around him anymore because he's killing
Right.
people. She steals his car and drives it to the fucking factory boiler room area where Freddy was. She stole a killer's car that he's probably dead. And she's just like, well, fuck it. He doesn't need it. I'm going to take it over here to the factory.
Yeah, the
Like,
cops in this town really
rude.
suck.
Yeah, I don't
Fucking
think
like,
you see a single cop in this
right,
town.
you
So
know.
like, they were all
It's
off. It
right.
was the policeman's ball.
Like
The police don't have balls. I know.
Springwood must be the most naive place. Like
Yeah,
I
fucking
love that line where like the mom and dad at the pool party, like the mom's like, yeah, I'll go and like I guess sleep with your father to get your
Yeah,
party
yeah,
fun. And
yeah,
like he's the dad's laying in bed with the drink and he's
yeah,
like, like, ooh, sexy time and shit.
yeah,
And then like all the kids are starting to party and hears
yeah,
it, and the dad's like, I gotta wake up early in the morning. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Just
yeah.
like bang your
Go sleep.
wife and have
Yeah,
fun,
yeah, yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Drink your fucking booze and shit. Fucking
We
who
had
gives a
the.
shit?
I used to go to parties like that where the parents would be like, "All right, it's they would hang out till like 10 o'clock," and they'd be like, but usually by that time people were like starting to disperse, so it was only like the crew, the people that like they had seen their faces before
Right.
at the house. It wasn't the randos. So
Right.
like when they went to bed, they were like, all right, I know who's here and I know where you live, don't
Yeah.
fuck up,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
exactly. But like, yeah, things like that, there's just small things in these movies. Like
look,
even in
the
the
movie is
Jason
really
movies.
good. It just
Yes.
it it just makes that hard left in it,
Those fucking Rottweilers with baby doll masks, like that gets me every time.
yeah,
Like
no, yeah,
that's like it's not an
hilarious.
S because of those.
Right.
And then Freddy Krueger at the pool party,
Right.
and like he's not doing like silly shit, but like
Yeah.
there are a couple of actors in there. It's like, okay, you can't be over 6'1"
Right.
because Robert Englund is definitely
Like
five
five, six
three.
or something. Yeah.
You know,
The guy that's trying to like talk to him, like, all right, bro. All right,
hey,
let's
hey,
all calm down.
let's just
Let's
calm
all
down.
just yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like Freddy's
Uh
just like Freddy
the
fucking
fuck is wrong
Krueger,
with
dude.
yeah, yeah, dude.
It's like we don't know who Freddy Krueger is.
I probably molested and killed your brother. Fuck
Right.
you.
I mean, like 30 years ago, there was
Yeah.
a girl named Nancy Thompson. Wait a minute. I got questions about this storyline now, Freddy
Yeah.
Krueger.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking yeah.
All
It's
right.
good. I
Yeah, it's
enjoy
good.
it.
It's good.
So,
Yeah.
and it only gets better from here.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
so
Until it gets really bad.
Jacob,
Yes.
gonna go see it in the theater.
Yeah, I think yeah. I can go ahead and answer. I would see all of them in the theater.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah. It's fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like a rite of passage in the horror community.
It
Like,
is. It
yeah,
is.
like physical copies.
Yeah, got a
I got
couple.
like two of them,
Yeah.
So, a cult classic.
I think that this one falls pretty good under cult classic because this one is the one that is majorly disliked.
Yes, those that like
And
it, and those that don't like it do not like
right.
it.
But we also went over what a fucking cult classic is.
Right.
So we have to play by those rules. We
No,
can't just
I
be
play
like,
by nobody's rules. I
okay,
got my
then
own set of rules in
right,
life,
but you
Jacob.
don't get to make up your own definition to a word.
Yeah, I do. All the
No.
time. I do it all the
I know, but but that's not how it works, Jerry. Just because you decide that shit isn't how it works. We're
time.
not playing in Jerry's world, we're playing in the real world. We're
Yeah.
reviewing movies to people that live
This is
in
all
the
an illusion,
secular
Jacob.
world.
I don't know what
Yeah,
you're
I
talking
know.
about.
Yeah, sure. Um, but yes, I do think this one falls under cult classic,
Yes.
especially more so than the others because
Right.
this one's not as beloved
Beloved. Right. Right. It's
or
not that.
spoke about in general.
Right. Nobody is gonna get a tattoo and say, yeah, this is Freddy Krueger specifically from part two. You
Well,
know?
see, that's the other thing because like it is so unique and Freddy is working through Jesse. It makes it hard to be like, yeah, number two was banging
Right.
because it's not the formula
Nope.
that it's set up on. So it's just like, yeah, it's good, but it's not something you like it's not something you talk about because it's different. Just like when you talk about Halloween movies, you don't you don't specifically talk about three
Three.
within the series
Hmm.
when you're talking about the series. So like when you're talking Nightmare, you go one, three, four, five.
Yeah.
And Halloween, you go 1, 2,
2,
whoopsie daisy. There's not
4,
right. Yeah,
maybe,
4 shit. Rob
yeah.
Zombie 1, and then 2018, and then that's all of them.
Yeah,
But
same thing like Nightmare. Friday, most people pass up 5 because it's not
I
Jason.
was that guy.
But yeah,
I was that guy. I passed up 5 a lot, but now
yeah,
I'm on the side of 5. I like
yeah. And those are the ones that make the series unique.
right.
The black sheep of the
Right.
series,
And that's exactly what this is the
Yeah,
black sheep of the
it's the black
series.
sheep. So
Yep.
who gives a shit about a remake?
We're
Fucking
gonna have to do the remake.
huh?
We're gonna have to do the remake.
I really don't. That is like of the remakes of the early 2000s, mid 2000s. Nightmare is the worst.
I
Nightmare
agree.
was the worst
I agree,
remake.
but in the span of time, that Chucky remake was the worst. I would watch this
Mm,
remake, this Friday remake or Freddy remake before I'd watch that Chucky again. Um,
yeah,
but yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe neck and neck.
See, I think that we're being really hard on it because it's not our Freddy. We grew up with our Freddy, and this is not our Freddy.
No, it's just
Just
bad
like,
computer CGI because it's at that time
yeah,
where
I
like
don't remember it well enough.
it looked like that what's that uncanny valley value
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Nothing behind the
And
eyes kind of deal.
like
I
they
don't
had
remember it.
he just like ugh. And the actor they got, yeah, it's not my Freddy.